I was bullied. Around the age of 10 is when it got pretty bad. I hated going to school for that sole reason. Every day I would go to school in hopes just to get by. This shouldn't be going through a 10-year-old's mind every time they have to go to school. It made it hard for me. I became insecure and shut myself off from everyone around me. I did not like the person who I was. I was always a heavier kid growing up. Until around 4th grade, I never thought much of it. Out of nowhere, a couple of kids around me started making comments on my weight, which at first I shrugged off. Every time the comments would get harsher and harsher. These kids found a way to get inside my head and change me. They were able to get that far because they took advantage of the fact that I didn't have a single mean bone in my body. Being a 10-year-old, I was still developing social skills, but once it started, my self-esteem plummeted. I was given social anxiety in the 4th grade. I decided the easiest way to get by school was to shut myself off and keep to myself. I rarely talked in groups and never raised my hand to answer questions in fear of being made fun of. This didn't work though. The bullies kept coming. I wasn't prepared to deal with this because I had just lost my grandpa and my cousin a week apart from each other, so the bullying made it even worse. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I felt worthless. I hated myself because I made myself believe everything people were saying was true. I believed every single word they said. I never told anyone close to me this was happening because I thought it would make me appear weak. After that year, I was left with very low self-esteem and social anxiety. None of this should be happening to a 10-year-old kid. Because of all this, I was shy and timid. I didn't like being that way, but in my mind, it was the only way to survive school without getting hurt. It took me a while to regain my self-esteem and put all that behind me. Bullies often don't know how they are affecting the other kid. To them, it's all a game or a joke, but to the other kid, it's not. I came to the realization that none of what they were saying mattered one bit. It had no truth. Once I came to that realization, then the real progress came in. I started talking more in groups, and I started answering questions in the class. I was finally able to look at myself and smile. I was able to feel comfortable with myself. I was finally able to be happy. No 10-year-old should have to experience anything like or worse than what I went through. I learned that if you focus on what other people think of you, the odds are you won't have a joyful life. I've learned to be myself and not care what other people think. If you think the same way, you will lead a life full of happiness. It's your life. You get to decide who you are. Don't let anyone change that. If for 1 second that you feel that you are worthless, take a second and think about all the people around you who love and care about you. For the longest time, I cared way too much about what people thought of me, which ultimately made me unhappy. No one should be able to single-handedly make you insecure and self-conscious just because of the way you look. You have people around you that you can go to for help. Don't suffer in silence. Don't be scared that if you go to someone for help, they'll think less of you. Because if they really care about you, they'll do anything they can to help you. Now I can proudly say that I am happy with who I am. It was a hard journey, but I finally feel comfortable with myself. My self-esteem is higher, and my social anxiety is mostly gone. I'm not ashamed of who I am. Although this was hard to go through, I was able to learn from it and grow as a person. No matter how bad things get, always look to the positives regardless. Everything happens for a reason. You just have to find that reason. Don't ever give up on yourself because of what other people are telling you. You don't have to be liked by everyone around you. All that matters is that you have people around you that really care for you, the real you, not some fake persona. No matter who the person is, you shouldn't care what anyone thinks. Just be yourself. No one should be able to completely change one another with words. You are worth it. Don't give in to what people say about you. Go and live your life to the fullest. Thank you.